Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and with a very special New Year's video. New Year's Eve is coming up. I'm actually here on a weekend, and I was finishing up the high probability watch list and sending that out. But I also wanted so many other thoughts that I wanted to share. Just kind of going into the end of the year, reflecting back. So I want to go over a fast video, but probably most of the video is going to be spent on a tip. I want to give you my tip of the year. For traders, especially newer traders out there. I want to give you a tip of the year. Something if I could reflect and say what would be the most valuable lesson in this market or trading, especially as a newer trader coming into, because everyone starts off as a beginner. And even though I started I don't even know how many years ago, 23 years ago trading. Basically starting, I went through the same issues that I think a lot of traders go through, and over time, and it takes a long time, and you call that the learning curve. Over time, you have to eliminate the waste and the stuff that's not working, and you get mature, that there's no free ticket on Wall Street, there's no sure thing, there's no holy grail, and you start to mold a trading philosophy for yourself, an individual trading philosophy that fits with your personality type. And maybe you might be hearing this for the first time, but I analyze traders a lot, trying to determine what makes a trader a great trader. When it comes to lack of emotion and feeling comfortable in what you trade, and feeling confident in what you trade, more confidence that you let things play out. So I want to touch base on that, and that's a hard thing for even me after 20-something years trading. Sometimes you don't have the confidence to step in when you see it is a good spot. Where if you look back at the chart, every time a certain setup appears, that if I'm teaching a methodology, and we'll just say, a divergence setup, or just a rotation, and just knowing some of the key indicators to watch for a trade that's going to be biased it's going to have a bullish direction for your trade, or bearish direction for your trade if you're short. It's just opposite signals. So you have to understand there's some simple tools out there you should use to clear away all that emotion, and that's the hard part, because we all are hands-on, and when it comes to real money, believe it or not, game on. Then it becomes real nerve-wracking, and it's different levels. If you're starting out, you don't have a lot of money, you're going to be more tense on losing the little bit you have. If you have a lot of money, you're probably going to be a little bit more successful, because you're not going to have that worry of saying I can't trade, or I'm blow up, or I'm going, whatever. There is a big difference between the amount of capital you start with and the position you're in when you start that capital. Do you need that capital to live on? Do you need to, things like that, just anything like that. It really is a big pressure when you're trading and relying on trading to make a living and support a family. So that's going to work against you. You got to have the mental game of trading is so important. So trying to develop a methodology that kind of takes the fears out of there, and you have to recognize certain setups. I call them the high probability setups, and those are a combination of different indicators that line up. So we could have indicators, stochastic trend lines, patterns, moving averages, support and resistance, and reversal candles. Those are basically, and again, if you're interested in the methodology, that's what I do every day. I broadcast the markets. I teach it, but more education. There's a whole educational site called theschoolofstock.com where I teach my methodology, and the offshoot of the #1 technique on there is the divergence setup. So I teach that in an in-depth video series. That's at theschoolofstock.com. A little shameful plug there, but why not? The thing is, even that the market is pulling back now, and all of a sudden you got everyone saying that the world is ending, basically. It's a natural progression for this stuff to happen. And it's always going to give you, what I'm going to concentrate on right now is just a simple technique. Because even myself, if you tighten up and try, you're saying, all right, I'm going in, and you're planning on staying in the whole day, and the market goes down, you're down a lot. These are huge volatile days, so you have to decide what time frame you're going to be trading, and let that time frame work for you. Most likely, if you look up here, I have a series of stochastics. I have what I call the fast and the medium and the slow. In this case, I have just a 9-3 and a 14-3 stochastic, fast stochastic indicator. I use them both for different techniques and stuff, but for what I'm really paying attention to is just the overbought and oversold level. And going back and taking a bird's eye view, even in the uptrend and even in the downtrend, we know one thing: we tend to get a directional move with the direction of the stock, with the stochastics, and upside and downside. It goes with it, and when it goes, momentum usually is you're going to go in the direction of momentum. That's the path of least resistance. It just has that momentum. So you have that on your side. So why would you go against it? If you should be eliminating a lot of trading time frames here that you shouldn't be trading unless you're going with the trend. So if the trend is pushing down on the stochastics and the price is moving down, it's going to be harder to go long there. It makes sense, right? So you should be concentrating on shorts in this environment. And lots of people, including myself, have a tendency to be more biased one direction or another. It's just a natural, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just being positive or something. But you have to learn, and you'll get over that. Over time, you'll know there's benefits of going short, and it's just a different. You have to really let loose and let the system take over. Let the indicators line up, and let you just believe that the markets. Just let the indicators work. Don't try to outthink the markets. All right, so you have this move down here, and in this case, this is a news-based event. What just happened in the markets? Really, a lot of news coming out, and even though a lot of news came out, the setups still were there. I mean, we had a big reversal candle. We're oversold here. Now, if we go back here and we take a look at every time the market oversold, overbought, the odds are sooner or later you're going to get a directional move in the direction of that indicator. I mean, the upside down to the downside, and then here when it's oversold, it pushes back up until it's overbought, and then it pulls back. The odds are you're going to be on the right side of the trade if you're following the momentum. This is what we call the momentum indicator here. So we're looking at the momentum here, and it's just a very easy way of looking at it, and it'll keep you out of a tremendous amount of trouble in the markets. That's another hard thing to do, is to be in the markets every day. Say, all right, this is where I come to do my job. So I have to make something happen. And say the market is affected one way or another, especially in craziness that's going on right now with the swings, 600, 700 points. People don't know which way is up or down. The algorithms, black boxes, the computers are driving this market really bonkers. So you have to be able to, there's a bigger chance of making money, but there's also a bigger chance of getting hurt more. So you have to make that decision. And the right decision is to trade in the environment that you're familiar with. All right, you don't, just to try to go in there in the whirlwind, because it will whip you around. And yeah, you might get lucky, you might make some money in it, but you still put yourself at bigger risk. And this is supposed to be a job and a business. And the business is you want to have the best ratio, profit with less risk involved in the markets. You want to have something that consistently works more times than it doesn't, and a higher percentage, high probabilities. That's great, and the combination of those tend to always work out. So as the market's crashing and fluctuating, only a few times have we really nailed some good buy signals or sell signals. Down here, we were actually part of this. It was a wedge pattern. It was oversold, and it was probably a 60-minute divergence there. And then from that point on, we went right back up, and we got overbought, and then we pushed right back down, and we came right back to the trend line. This is where we bounced. It was a very obvious place, very obvious a spot to look for a bounce on this, and that's on the daily. We bounced off of it. Big follow through, 1,000-point day after Christmas. Inside day, a little follow through on Friday. You know, what direction are we headed? We're heading up. We're heading up. It's better right now for that swing trader to be looking for some more upside in this market. It just makes sense. Now, yeah, of course, there's going to be maybe there's going to be a down day, an up day, an out day, and there's news. So, it's a difficult trade environment when there's always news that, could come out at any moment. And if you're in a position that goes against you, that's just, it's unplanned for, and you can't blame yourself for it. So don't worry about it. So that was my tip, really, is to, trade with the trend. If you're going to be interested in a short, and decide what time frame you're going to trade. Each one of these time frames going to the 60-minute will give you the same setups. It'll give you the same trend lines. If you're oversold in a trend line or reversal candle, there's probably a better chance of that moving back up. And you can't be over greedy, and you can't be smoking the hopium, which means you get to an area that was an obvious area of resistance and it's an obvious area of a pullback, but you're hoping that's going to break through. So you decide to stay on, and the obvious happens, and it pulls right back. So, this has to be a business, a defined business. I love this portion of, what I teach is trying to, kind of instill that it is a business, and everything needs to be written out. Every reason to get into the market has to be on your business plan. And your business plan is your methodology, or my methodology. If you take what is useful, discard what is not. But you will know that that's why you're listening to this video. You know the techniques, the two techniques that I teach are so good. It's our own mental weakness that probably keeps us from getting into the right opportunity over time. So I have been developing, this is the next segment of the video, it's kind of a 2018 wrap-up, just kind of touching base on a lot of different things, plus my tip. It's just be with the side that's winning, which side is grooving. And on that time frame, a 5-minute time frame, I want to go back one more time. Remember, that should be a scalping time frame. You're not basing a 5-minute setup on a long, unless it's part of a 60-minute time frame and a daily, and possibly even a weekly. And then you could give it time. You'll know that it'll eventually start to moving up, and you don't have to get shaken out at these levels because you have a bigger time frame underneath it that is working in your favor. So that's simple things like that. So with the HPS, and again, you could get this course at theschoolofstock.com. But also, it's called the High Probability Setups, and it's basically what my watch list that I send out to the members of Day Trading Radio get every Friday. Setups, techniques, education that we could apply. Apply to the following week's market. So I just did send one of these things out here, and we were talking about a couple of good stocks. So I want to talk about my stocks of the year going into next year real fast. I'll just touch base on it. I do think these new internet companies are growing fast, like Coupa Software. This is a nice flag relative to the regular markets. It's holding above the 200-period moving average. It looks good. I'm expecting it to move back up to the highs. ServiceNow, I'm hearing a lot of good things. The earnings have been great. This is not that far from the highs either. Now think about the environment. Our goal was to get back into this consolidation, and we basically did that on Friday, and then pull back. But I think we get higher, and we actually get to 200 on this. It looks very close. So these are some of the good stocks, and just to mention that. Also, what I want to bring back, and I don't do this enough, and it's just so much for me to do, because I'm working on the Autobot, and we'll talk about the Autobot in a section. I gotta bring back the kick-ass trade of the week. One shot, one stop. It was a great video. Gary, I forget his last name. Gary made for me, and It was, I want to play it for you, see if you remember it. All right, here it is. World premiere of the Kick-Ass Trade of the Week commercial put out in 2016, right in December. Here we go. Tell me what you think. This might be coming back. Oh man, that rocks, huh? That's really cool. So, definitely thinking of bringing that back. Just putting one sock once a week out there. I mean, it's part of the HPS watch list, so you get it anyway. But I don't know. I have a lot of good commercial stuff. I just don't even use it all. All right. So next topic, the year-end topic. All right, the bot. I wanted to talk about the bot a little bit more. For the last 3 months, I've been working on an Autobot with NinjaTrader platform to trade HPS setups. Mainly taking the methodology and program it in there so to take away the emotion, take away the setups. And another reason really was because there were so many great setups overnight when the market wasn't really being controlled by algorithms and stuff. You know, and there's buy programs, sell programs out of the blue that could, could blow through, areas of visual confirmation. You might say, well, that's an area of resistance. I want to sell it in it. We'll have other people see that too, and they know how to break through that. There might be a buy program that comes in that breaks it out artificially, where then it captures some people, and then shorts come back down. So I like to, trade certain techniques that I feel very good about, and a lot of them, that come out during the day are fine, but the ones that come out at night, overnight in the futures, seem to be less manipulated. The volatility is not there, but the setups are there. And in this environment right now, where we're getting big moves, 20, 30 point moves in the futures and on the S&P, it's amazing the amount of range you get overnight now. You get 10, 20 points overnight. Capturing just a couple of those in a couple of trades is a nice overnight haul there. So that's what I didn't want to miss. So I started developing the trade bot, DTR trade bot. I haven't really named it yet, but I wanted to let it program it in so I could get my divergence set up. And it's been tough, It's much harder to program in what I want on my trade. And learning the system. I was learning, the C language, C# language that they kind of are using. So I'm really a beginner on the coding and stuff. So I have my friend George helping me out on a lot of the coding. So it's been in progress, and it's becoming, it's coming to the top of my list as one of the things I pay attention to a lot more, because I'm starting to get the formula right, and I'm getting some good results out of it. And right now it's in auto trade or sim mode. There's no real money being traded on it, because I'm still just tweaking it and have to make sure some things are good. But I'm starting to show it now, so you're starting to see that on Day Trading Radio. We're going to have a dedicated channel for it too, so you can have it on your dashboard. It'll be on your dashboard, lower right hand side, and you'll be able to switch back and forth. You can make that big screen, put it on another screen, so it'll be really good. It'll be useful. I'll be running it, and then we'll start tracking it, and then eventually we'll see where the next level goes. I know I will fund it and let it run overnight, but there will be alerts coming from it. So the other reason I wanted to get this thing running is because I wanted the overnight alerts. Like if we see a good divergence alert, I would like you be able to go to the site, which you can right now. Let me walk you through that. All right, pretend this is a site. I want to log in. So when you log in as a member, you're gonna log in here, and I'm gonna close this so you can see the dashboard a little bit better. This is what you get. Now I turned off the feed, so there's no feed right now on that. But this is basically the dashboard, and normally the chart would be here. This is where the DTR bot will be going, right here. This is the RAM bot, so this is another indicator. Here is all the trade alerts and everything you need to know. The tradeometers over here. The news squawk is up here. The chat rooms are here. You just open those up, and the chat rooms pop up. Then all up here, these are the important levels: the education, the videos, the HPS watch list, which is the setups for the week. And what was I going to show you? I was just going to show you something. It was the alerts. So you go over here to alerts, you click on that. I think you click on it, alerts. There we go. All right, so then you're going to see the alerts here. Now this is my alerts console. As a member of Day Trader Radio, you can get all the trade alerts. You have an email to you, HPS alerts, which are the watch list alerts, the RAM bot, which is our bot alerts. So the announcements is our blog alerts. So we're gonna have another one here, which will be the bot. So that'll be the overnight bot. If you want to be sent an alert, you could do it through there, and you could also do it through your telephone number. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a text message, and I'm going to wake up the whole house. It's going to be the end of me. So right down here, you could get your text messages sent to you. Just put your cell number, your carrier, whatever carrier you're using. It has all the carriers, and then you can even test it, and then you could pick what you want. So the bot will be mentioned down here. That's what I'm showing you right now. That's where you're going to find all that stuff. All right. So I am continuing on that. I'm going to probably be working on it in a few minutes after I get done with this video. And what else can I tell you about it? Like I said, right now there's the a short and a long script that I'm using. It's giving me very good results. I haven't classified them. I'm still like, I would say we're at the point now. I'm at the point now that I'm feel comfortable putting it on overnight, and but now I have to kind of log it or kind of script it into an area where it outputs all the trades, and we could have access to all the back, live, I just got to start working on it again now. All right, so that's looking pretty good. All right, you know what? Decided to kind of finish the video with just talking about the markets and what I see going into the beginning of the new year. This is where we are right now on the daily S&P. How many times I've seen patterns like this play out, only to eventually move higher. This is a great opportunity down here. This is absolutely a great opportunity, overdone. And we haven't had any really big pullbacks. Even beginning of 2018, we kind of had this pullback kind of. But this is definitely extended and based mostly on news, and this news will clear up. I mean, that's pretty much a given. There will be some deals being made. I mean, it's just things. That's how things work. They're playing the little cards right now. Someone's bluffing. Someone's going to give in, and the market's going to see that as a relief. And once these things are past us, the biggest thing I could tell you also, again, another tip here, is the market doesn't like first-time events. All right, new crap gets the market messed up. It used to be uncertainty, yes, but uncertainty when we have had, like I've traded this market for many years, so sometimes we have a new setup. We don't, whatever it is, Greece crumbling, the euro, the Brexit, everything. It's just these are new events, and that's what usually stuns the market. But when we have events like debt ceiling or something like that, the market sometimes blows it off because they've seen it before, it works out and stuff. We have a combination of things that happen that are kind of new. First of all, we have this wall. I mean, we have the government shutdown, And that's happened before, but it's just about the way it's going on with the wall and the division between the two parties. So we have that as a big distraction. And the government is shut down for foreseeable future. They haven't decided. So it's but it won't last that long. And this is probably overextended already. The other thing is, of course, the trade deal. The trade deal, it's in best interest to both countries for this to work out. You know that. So it is going to work out. Everything that needs to work out always works out. All right? It's just the people are intelligent. They will know, that it's better to work together, and that's what North Korean guy is doing. He's all of a sudden woken up. He's young enough to understand, hey, there's down the road it's not going to work out. Might as well get together now and Anyway, I see that working out. They're going to have meetings in January, so that might come down to a deadline, and I think that's going to be a little bit more pressure on the markets because this is, again, a first-time event where we have these type of trade wars that I could remember. I never really had to deal with them from the early 90s, or they didn't really stand out like they did today. So two big events, both will start to get past us in January. At least we'll get some resolution on a couple of them. So one way or another. The pattern here, we broke down. We capitulated. In my view, we capitulated. I don't think we need the volume anymore, but I think we need a pattern breakdown and then a pattern break back up. And I've taught this pattern so many times. I said, whenever you break out, your first trade is going to be back up to the lower trend line. That's a great trade. Getting through it is even better because then you have a pullback to it and it should hold. That trend line actually should hold. Question is, this was a sloppy trend line up here. We used it some of the closing lines, but it could be be something like that. But we're very close to it. Either way, from where we are now, how close things are happening, I think we move right back up. 200 period moving average is about 2,700. We're 23, almost 2,500. So I think we have a good shot of moving higher. Another thing on the list here is the earnings season starts in about 2 weeks. I bought some JP Morgan. All right, I have some JP Morgan. I like this going into earnings season for a bounce next week. So I'd like to get us through $100. That would be fantastic. The NXPI is another one. I'm just getting random on the stocks right now. This one, I feel like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think someone's going to swoop in and grab this company. The hardest part is trying to find that you want to be in it, put your money to work, and not to be stuck in it for a month because you think it's going to happen and you get out. And then it happens. So I just like the level down here. So I'm starting to get into a little of the NXPI on some of the options. But again, the options are probably a little bit tougher because you got to have that happen in a time frame. But you know what? It is what it is. I wanted to share that with you. Some other stocks that, TLRY, we'll know what happens on. We had a nice rally today. At one point, I think it was up about $400 or something on this. I just got it today. Going into into Monday, I wanted to see a gap up, but it ran today. It ran really nice. From 1 o'clock on, it was on from 72 to 75. So we had a beautiful profit on it. Did pull back a little. But the beginning of New Year, I think there's going to be a lot of cannabis news, talking about legislation and new laws coming into effect. I think that's going to be focus is going to be back on this. TLRY is not the one that everyone considers to be the better choice. It's Canopy Growth, CGC, and that has a nice falling wedge pattern. So I'd watch for a target right above us to an old trend line that broke down. So a couple of the cannabis trades, all right. I think that's going to be it for the video, the year-end video. People were asking me, why didn't I do a Christmas sale or anything? And I just, I don't know. we never really do those unless they're obvious, like the Black Friday and stuff. But I said, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it to January, beginning of January. So if you guys want to take advantage of the lifetime offer, where you get the all day trading radio, everything, all the premium products, all in one package for life. That's the Tradeometer, and the School of Stock, and day trading radio. I mean, it's a tremendous deal. And it's $500 off until January. Get in touch with me. I'll give you a coupon. It's a coupon. I have to get in touch. You get in touch with me, please. I have to give you the coupon code. I don't have it in front of me. Or mention this to me, all right? And then I'll hook you up. And I think that's about it. I'm looking forward to just getting back into the markets next week. Another damn holiday we have to deal with, traders. And I think there was, I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. And thank everyone for support of Day Trading Radio. And just a great members we have. I want to name you all. You know who you are. You guys are like family to me. So I appreciate it. And big shout out to RPM and his family and everyone else out there. All right. So we'll talk to you Monday. I'll see you in the markets.